Good morning, good morning, good morning. Wow. Everybody's in the house today. This is Dr. Herbert Harris. This is Success Mentorship Class number 400. Can you believe it? Number 400. And that means that we've been at this for what, about 5 years. And so many of you have been with us for so long. We appreciate you. And we have had views of our videos in the thousands and thousands and thousands. And so I guess it says to you that if you keep doing what you're supposed to be doing, it will resonate with the world and do what it's supposed to do. So this day, our topic for today is the keys to spiritual success. This is a topic that has really, I guess, been in my mind and resonating in my spirit for a while, because we have spent so much time defining success in terms of money, in terms of accomplishments, and in terms of spiritual parameters. But there's another level of success that goes far beyond the spiritual parameters into an entirely another area. And that is the area that we are dealing with today, this idea of spiritual success. I invite you, of course, to visit our website, www.herbertharris.com. And also today is the 25th, and it's the day for our special webinar that we're having at 11 a.m. this morning, the Making the 12 Universal Laws of Success Work for You. And I see people are still registering today, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, but more information is available at www.successlessons.net, www.successlessons.net. Before we get started, let's do our meditation so that we can get centered in our mind, in our bodies, and in our spirits. So let's sit straight up in our seats. Today I'm using the clasped hand. My hands are together in almost a prayerful way. Closing our outer eyes and opening our inner eyes. Let's take a deep breath and hold it. Let it out slowly. Take a deep breath and hold it. Let it out slowly. And in this space of peace and relaxation, I am at peace with myself. Let us affirm that I am at peace with myself. Once more, I am at peace with myself. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And in this state of peace and relaxation, my mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Let us affirm that together. My mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And so it is. I love this topic because it brings to mind a very powerful concept. And that concept is manifestation. How do you manifest in your life the things that you desire? We're at a point in the year where we are really calling ourselves into, I'll call it, calling ourselves into accountability, saying that, what am I doing? How did I get where I am? Should I have done more? Can I do more? What must I do to make this year the year that I wanted it to be at the very start of the year? You know, when we laid out our plans for the year at the beginning of this year, we had written goals, and we looking now and say, well, where are we on that path of written goals? And so at this point, we may or may not be where we want to be, but I thought that it would be very, very instructive to take us to a more basic level than time schedules and action timetables and to-do lists, to really look behind success, behind accomplishment, behind manifestation. We often give a quote when we begin our talks. Today I'm going to use a piece of scripture, and this is from Matthew, the 6th chapter, and the 33rd verse. And it says, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you." Now, we're not talking religion. Kingdom is really consciousness. And so what we're saying is seek first the consciousness of what you want. And in that state of consciousness, in that vibration of consciousness, you will attract into your life everything that you need, everything that you desire. And you will be able to manifest it in real time. I'm sure you've had those situations where when you think of somebody and all of a sudden they call you. When you had no idea how you were going to get out of a situation and all of a sudden you get a check in the mail. Those kind of things don't just happen. That's a part of the universal vibration working on your behalf. And so as we look into this idea, everyone wants success. Everyone wants to prosper. Everyone wants to live in peace. But spiritual success is deeper than accomplishment. It's not about just what you accumulate, but it's more about what you activate inside. You know, in the old hair products days, back in the 70s, they had the activators. And the activator was a product that you put in your hair and it activated the curls in your hair. Well, spiritual success is about activating a power that's within you that is your birthright, that is a part of your reason for being. So spiritual success is really a harmonic relationship, a harmonic alignment of your thoughts, of your body, of your spirit, and of your goals. Wow. This alignment now brings about a creative energy. When we align ourselves with higher power, success flows naturally because we are living in tune with the rhythm of the universe. You know, in the 12 Universal Laws of Success, there's a section in the introduction, and we talk about the vibrations of life and some of the way that the universe operates, harmonic relationships. And when we start thinking about that, we realize that there's certain basic harmonic relationships, like peace, like love, like harmony, like relationships with yourself, relationships with others, relationships with your source. But all of this brings about a vibration that attracts into your space all that you desire. Wow. So let's look at this. There are basically 4 keys to this spiritual success. Key number 1 is you got to get tuned up. Tune in with divine order. Now, once again, when I'm talking divine, I'm talking universal. I'm not talking any religion, but I'm talking the universe operates on a vibrational level. Everything has an energy. When we did our meditation, when we take in breath, the Indian word for breath is prana. Prana means energy. Breathing is proof of life. If you're not breathing, you're not living. And so this entire existence that we have is an exchange of energy, which can be in tune or out of tune. So get in tune with divine order. So this scripture now, seek first the consciousness of what you desire, and the manifestation will be added unto you. If you have a manifestation without the consciousness, it's like hitting the lottery. And we've seen the statistics. Many people hit the lottery for millions of dollars, and within 5 years, many of them are broke again. So what happened? They got results without consciousness. The order of things, though, is that the consciousness attracts the results into your life. It's your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions that determine the life that you live. But when these actions are aligned with the divine principles of love, of integrity, of peace, of gratitude, of harmony. So when your life, when your thoughts, your actions, and your emotions are aligned with these principles, something happens. The outer world begins to mirror that inner harmony, and vice versa. So you literally create the life you desire by feeling it inside, by seeing it inside. It's like a piano. I have a piano here in my studio, and I have to have my piano tuned at least twice a year. So what happens? Over the time, the heat, the moisture, the different temperatures, each one of those strings goes a little out of tune. And at first you don't notice it. But eventually the string gets so out of tune that when you play a chord, it doesn't sound as beautiful as it used to sound. So one string out of harmony can distort a whole song, a whole tune. In our lives, in our spiritual lives, one thing out of order can change our whole lives. So we can have negative thoughts that undermine everything we say we want. We can have negative emotions that undermine everything we're working for. We can have bad habits that undermine our legacy. We can have relationships that keep us in a state of anxiety, pain, and fear. The interesting thing about this harmonic approach to the universe is that the little things that make all the difference. So when we get in tune with divine order, we focus on the good. We focus on integrity. We do things that we keep our word. We focus on peace. We focus on gratitude. You know, Confucius said something very, very powerful I think the world has forgotten about. And he said, before you speak, before you reply, think of three things. Number one, is your reply true? If it's not true, don't say it. Number two, is your reply necessary? If it's not, don't say it. And number three, is your reply nice? Is it loving? If it's not, don't say it. And so it is this type of discipline that helps us align with the divine order of things, so that when we're operating in line with that harmonic vibration of the universe, which is always good, then we now magnify our power. So some of the things that have been blocking us won't block us anymore. The second key is trust the process. You know, faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. So faith is really spiritual vision. When we talk about people who've had great success, you know, I love to talk about the Steve Jobs, the Tyler Perrys of the world. But, Dr. King talked about the street sweeper, and he said that you must have such pride in your work, such integrity in your actions, that if you're a street sweeper, your street is the cleanest street in the universe. And so this idea of trusting the process, number one, to trust the process of trust yourself, that you have the ability to get it done. As the farmer who plants a seed, if he does not have faith in the process of growth, then he won't go out and water that seed every day, even though he doesn't see anything. He won't go out and pull up the weeds every day, even though he doesn't see anything. It's faith in the process that makes the farmer keep going. You have to have faith in yourself, that you have whatever it takes to do whatever must be done to get what you want. As we close out this year, look at some of your actions. Look at some of the results in your life and the cause and effect relationship and say, you know what? I could have done that. I need to believe in myself strong. I need to be more committed to me and to doing the things that I see. I need to stop letting people distract me and pull me off course. Every great success begins with an invisible idea, a seed of faith. When the Wright brothers wanted to fly, I know when they had the initial vision, if you look back at some of the Leonardo da Vinci drawings of flying, all of those drawings were sort of centered on birds and having men with wings on their back. But the Wright brothers took it to another level. They had a similar vision, but how they implemented it made all the difference. And so when we have faith, faith activates divine law. Faith is like a forward motion. When you step out on faith, when you say, I can get it done. I don't know how. Don't get so, concerned with the how, but just know that this good is coming to you. Know that people will love what you're doing. Know that you will create success. Many times the disappointments are just to make you want it badly enough. When Tyler Perry was going through those periods of doing plays in the churches and in community centers, many times people did not show up and they left broker than they came. Okay. But the vision is what keeps you going. So I challenge each and every one of you to have a vision that's so clear that you can have faith in it. And that even though you don't see the manifestation yet, you still take the steps necessary to make it happen. There's a beautiful thing. There's a course called the Course in Miracles. And one of the aspects of the Course in Miracles is that miracles are everywhere around us. The miracles happen all the time, but we get so, you might say, nearsighted on how it happens that we can't see that there are miracles all around us. So when you trust the process, even though you can't see the path, that keeps you moving. That keeps you in alignment with the vibration of the universe. So often it's the mindset that makes the difference. What you see in the vision transforms the vibration inside you, which then transforms the relationship with the universal vibration that either lifts you up or pulls you down. We often tell the story of the young man, the father whose daughter had a favorite dog, a little Cocker Spaniel. And one day the dog ran out in the street and got hit by a car. And the little girl was crying and crying and crying. And they could not console her. And so finally the father said, come with me, and went around to the side of the house. And there's a big window there. And out that window was a number of beautiful rose bushes that the little girl had planted. And he said, look at the rose bushes. What does that make you feel? She said, well, that makes me feel good. I remember planting them, and they are so beautiful. Dog was still dead. But it was a matter of changing your perspective. So even though that had happened, she could choose to see something good. When you trust the process, even though the vision may not, even though the manifestation may not be taking place, if you hold fast to the vision, it will take place. There's a great scripture that says, I walk by faith, not by sight. My faith makes the impossible possible. So whatever you're doing in your life, whatever your business, whatever your endeavors, if you have faith in the outcome, first, if you have a vision of what you want the outcome to be, if you have no vision, no program, no game. If you have no vision of your own, the world has a vision for you. But if you do have a vision and hold fast to the vision, it will manifest if you keep working at it. The third key to spiritual success is to clear the way, clear the channel for divine flow. We can be living in the middle of abundance, but we can be holding on to past hurts, past disappointments. You know, I've always talked about, I'm amazed at sometimes grown people when they look at the disparity, the issues they have between them. I've seen brothers and sisters who don't get along, and you say, well, what is wrong? You know, why is it that we can't get along? And it goes back 50 years to when, you know, the mother or the dad did something and made one child feel that they liked the other child better. And they never got over that. And so forgiveness is not about somebody else. Forgiveness frees you from the vibration of resentment. Forgiveness frees you from the vibration of jealousy. All of those negative aspects, those negative vibrations brought into your life. Sometimes it's forgiveness of yourself. You know, many of us are entrepreneurs, and we've tried and we've tried and we've tried, and we have never had the success that we really wanted to have. And so we get into a habit of like, well, I didn't make it to the top, but I did all right. Well, forgive yourself for mediocre thinking and go for it. When we hold on to resentment, when we hold on to negative emotions, this blocks the flow. In that symphony of life, if the violin section stops playing because they're mad with the conductor, the symphony is different. The sound is different. So don't block your flow by holding on to past resentment, past negative thoughts, past negative failures, negative experiences, but always look at the vision and ask that question, what good can come out of this? What's the good, the next step for me? When you release the past, when you forgive and forget, you have literally taken the rocks out of your shoes and given yourself wings. And finally, the fourth key to spiritual success is to live from divine assignment. When the prodigal son found himself in the pig pen of life, he could have said, woe is me. I'm getting what I deserve. I made bad choices. I disobeyed my dad. Woe is me. Or the prodigal son could say, let me arise and go to my father. Let me arise and go to my source. Let me get myself back in a harmonic relationship with the good, with the God mind, with the universal mind. When you assume and know with a surety that your life has a purpose, it changes your perspective. When you know that you have an important job to do, it now makes you treat yourself differently, makes you think different thoughts. Understand that the Creator never creates junk. And so if you're alive, if you're still in the game, if you're on the planet and you're working hard at accomplishing the things you desire, then there must be a reason for it. There's a purpose for your creation. And so therefore, the fact that you're alive means you automatically come with a mission. And that mission is the quest that we go through in life to determine what is our mission. Once we understand our mission, that we were created for a divine purpose, then we move from purpose to purpose from pressure. So now, instead of worrying about our level of accomplishment, we know that we're doing the very best we can with what we have to do it with, and we're grateful for that, which then brings in more energy to help us get better and rise higher. And so this idea of spiritual success is something we're going to do probably a series on this, because there's so many nuances to this. It really gives us almost a blueprint for creating our lives, but a blueprint not based on numbers, but a blueprint based on vibrations. So let's review. Number one, the idea of spiritual success is to get in tune with divine order, to recognize and accept that there's a creator and that there's a good universe out there, and that if you are aligned with the good thoughts, with love, integrity, with peace, with joy, that you become magnetic and attract those things into your life. Number two, trust the process. Have faith and keep moving. Don't worry about the how. Have faith in the process, that you're supposed to have a good life, that there's always a promised land for you. Have faith in yourself to know that you have everything you need to get anything you want. Have faith in other people, knowing that the right people will show up to help you. That when your vibrations are in order, you'll be sending out a vibration that will attract the people into your space who will provide all the stuff you need to help you get to that next level. Number three, clear the path. That any negative thoughts that you're holding on to, get rid of them. Any resentments that you're holding on to, get rid of them. It says, forgive that you will be forgiven. This idea of getting rid of the negative thoughts, the negative emotions, the bad habits, and the negative people is critical to your rise. And then finally, that fourth key, to live from your divine assignment. The moment you say, when the prodigal son said, in my father's house, even the servants have food enough and more. In your life experience, you were created for something important, something positive, something necessary, that you have a mission and a purpose. And just knowing that, you begin to see it. Whatever you recognize in your consciousness, you become magnetic for and attract into your life. Have you ever noticed that, when we received the Jeep, the company that Sandra and I worked for, we received a Jeep. When you become a top producer, the company gives you a car, and we chose a Jeep. Well, they chose the Jeep. We really wanted something. But anyway, we got the Jeep. The moment we got a Jeep, all of a sudden, all we saw around us were Jeeps. I'm like, man, I didn't know there were so many Jeeps around. Anything that you put in your consciousness, all of a sudden you begin to recognize it and see it all around you. And so when you put that positive thing into your divine consciousness of saying, I'm created for a good purpose, I'm created to do great work, I have everything I need to get it done, let me step out on faith and make it happen. Then you can do that. Then you realize that spiritual success is not about luck, it's about law. Follow the principles, you get the results. It's consistent application of these principles that govern your life. That when you align with mind and spirit and live by faith, forgive freely, and walk in purpose, then success is not about the chase. It's about becoming. When you grow into your success, people know it. They can feel it. It's different. So I invite each and every one of you today, as we close out this year, to look at that spiritual success, to look at that alignment with divine order, to Trust the steps that you make, to trust yourself, trust the process, to clear the way, and to know that you have a divine assignment, a purpose, and a mission. And once you know that, all is well. Once you know that you can be what you want to be. You can do what you want to do. You can have anything you desire, always knowing that the best is yet to come. And so it is. Let's just take a deep breath for a moment. Let it out slowly. All right. Thank you so much. Those of you on Instagram, those of you on YouTube, thank you so much for being with us. Those here in our mastermind group, just hold tight and we're going to have our discussion. Once again, I remind each and every one of you out in cyberspace that today we have the Making the 12 Universal Laws of Success Work for You webinar. It's online and you can still join. It starts at 11 o'clock today. Hey, Melda Marvin, good seeing you. It starts at 11 o'clock today. And you can go to www.successlessons.net, www.successlessons.net to learn more information and to get started. All right, folks, let me close out in our normal way saying that you can be what you want to be, do what you want to do, and have anything you desire, always knowing that the best is yet to come. And so it is.